Other people always said, okay, 25 years, it's a long-term thing, and things could change. How often should I revisit my BHAG? If you set your BHAG right, it should prevail for 25 years. But we always want to do it in the planning session in every year. We ask and we recommend our clients, and we recommend all companies do a 2 or 3 day planning session every year, that they really disconnect from the day-to-day and they get to think. We always try to revisit the BHAG and said, hey, is this still relevant? Is this the right thing to continue to do? And sometimes we adjust it a little bit. I'll give you an example. When we started Growth Institute, I put my own BHAG. That is to help 1 million entrepreneurs grow their company faster with less drama. And that's the BHAG I put for Growth Institute. And 3 or 4 years into it, my team came to me and said, Daniel, we would like to change the BHAG. And I was like, no, that's who I am. I felt offended that my team wanted to change the BHAG. But they said, Daniel, 2 things. First, we don't just train and help the CEO or the entrepreneur of the company grow. We help the whole team. And you're just talking to the CEO. And 2, we feel we're not included on the BHAG. It's all about you. It has to be about the team. And if part of our philosophy is to scale leadership teams, we have to have a BHAG based on leadership teams. So we went from that to, we want to help 10 million leaders of SMBs or fast-growing companies to be able to scale their impact and reduce their drama. And that's our BHAG today. And did one more thing that is interesting. We said we want to give freedom to leaders of mid-market companies. And what gives you freedom? You want to do what you do in a bigger way. You want to make more money. You want to serve more clients. You want to hire more people. You want to have a bigger impact. Human beings always want to have a bigger impact. And you want to reduce the drama in their operation. So even if you're a company of 10 employees or 1,000 here, China, England, Mexico, wherever, you always want to have more impact and less drama in your operation. And that's never going to change in the next 25 years. Even with AI, it's not going to change even with AI. Human beings, as a human condition, we will always want to have more impact and always want to have less drama. So when people ask me, hey, what's the difference of a vision statement or a mission with the BHAG? I tell them the BHAG has teeth. It has a number, it's concrete, it's palpable. The typical mission and vision is we want to be the best in the world and they start dreaming. And by the way, by their 3rd sentence, you forgot about it. The BHAG is very concrete. Indeed, Nike's BHAG, very famous BHAG around the world, was crush Adidas. They knew that Adidas was the biggest shoe company in the world or sports apparel company in the world. And they want to be bigger than Adidas. And their BHAG was crush Adidas. That's it. If we're bigger than Adidas, we go to our number, right? Bill Gates, I'm going to put a computer in every desk running Windows. You could measure it. And by the way, today it's not in every desk, but it's 85% of the desk in the world. And it's just not in the desk, in your car, in your phone, in your computer, it's everywhere. And that's why Microsoft is Microsoft today. So the best BHAGs usually stay for many years, even more than 25 years. Probably Bill Gates' BHAG has been, he gave us that BHAG in the 70s. So we've been over 50 years and he continues to run with that. Now they have a different way of saying that we want to empower people through devices and whatever, but that's what they do. They're putting a computer in every desk running Windows. For me, the key is people that are able to understand the future. They understand the trends and they accept the brutal facts. They don't get in love with their idea. They say, this is the truth. This is what's happening. This is the trend. How can I work best? How can I use the trends the best? Or how can I cover myself from being hit by a trend or a new technology or something? And I will continue to do what I want to do. So they are very clear on what they want to do. They accept the brutal facts to really understand reality and be based in reality. And they don't lose today's focus. They're in love with the future, but they continue to do what they have to do today to get there. If you have someone that is in love with the future and just looking to the future, he will never get there because he cannot execute. And if you have someone that is just executing, trends are going to change and they're going to be out like Blockbuster, right? They were so focused on making money, and today they completely miss the future. The best leaders in the world, they have clarity in the future based on trends. They accept the broad facts, but they have the feet in today's world very firm. They know what they have to do. They keep an eye on the execution, and they make sure they execute their plan. So you have this duality on the dream of the future, and a lot of people said the pain of the today. And it's really hard to stay there. That's why it's a very unique ability. We've seen some leaders be able to do it. But reality is those are the ones that really have a huge impact in the world in the long term, because they're able to be excited, they're able to have clarity in the future, and they are today figuring out how to get closer to that. So let's talk about Everest, right? You say, I want to climb Everest, and you have perfectly clear where you want to go. But if you don't get to base camp 1, it's impossible you're going to get there. And if you don't get to base camp 2, it's impossible you're going to get there. And you have to get to base camp 2 with certain oxygen and with certain food. So from base camp 2, you could really go to Mount Everest, right? You have to have that duality of have clarity in the future, but very clear of what you have to do today to be able to get there. And that duality is what makes a great leader in the long term. So what we recommend that you do next is get your BHAG right, understand your long-term strategy, 10 to 25 years, and then be very clear, what can you do this quarter to get to that? And Vern Harnish, my mentor and the author of Scaling Up, always tells me, Daniel, I want you to tell me exactly where you're going to be in the next 10 to 25 years and tell me what's going to happen this quarter. I don't care about anything in the middle. I want you to have an idea of the year and the 3.5 years, but I really care about this quarter and the next 25 years. Everything in the middle, we could change, we could adapt. It's going to change. We know it's going to change. But this quarter, you should be able to plan it and execute it to the T, always on the trend to where you want to go. So what is scaling up for me? And I've been using scaling up as a framework for the last 25 years as an entrepreneur. And for me, and the best analogy that I could explain is having a great hull of your boat. A lot of entrepreneurs said, I want to grow really fast. I want to grow exponentially. So I'm going to buy a really big engine. And I was like, great. If you could afford that engine, it's great. But you're going to put it on that boat. And the hull of the boat is not aerodynamic. The paint is really rusted. It has a lot of holes. There's a lot of water in. You could put a big engine and you're going to move that boat, but you're going to spend a lot of energy moving that boat. And there's a lot of water that's going to flow out. And that's all the drama that you're going to move something that is not aerodynamic. Before you buy the engine, let's make the hull of the boat way more aerodynamic and efficient. Let's paint it. Let's cover all the holes. Let's get all the water out. And now that you have a great boat, now let's figure out what's the best engine for that boat. That's what scaling up is all about. We believe there's a lot of opportunity in the world. The world economy is around $90 trillion. Like, more companies die of indigestion than lack of opportunity. The problem is that they're trying to do so many things that they lose their track. They get completely distracted and they miss the ball in the day-to-day. They miss doing what is right now, keeping the one thing. And scaling up helps you keep the one thing. But most importantly, communicate to your team and align your team to be able to execute that strategy. So for me, scaling up is doing the whole of the boat way more efficient. So then you could buy an amazing engine and take your boat to the next level.